هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى في شأن عباد الرحمن أو في وصف عباد الرحمن في سورة الفرقان: والذين لا يدعون مع الله إلها آخر ولا يقتلون النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق ولا يزنون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Furqan describe Ibadur Rahman, the servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Among the description, he said in this ayah that they are the one who does not associate partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لا يدعون مع الله إلها آخر. They don't call anyone besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the shirk. ولا يقتلون النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق. They don't kill anyone unjustly, and that is ظلم. ولا يزنون, and they don't commit adultery, and that is what we call فواحش, indecency. جمع الله سبحانه وتعالى أصول المحرمات في هذه الثلاث. يعني the origin of all evil is in these three. If you look at shirk and all the branches of the shirk in توحيد الأسماء والصفات, shirk in توحيد الربوبية, shirk in توحيد الألوهية, all those forms of shirk, the minor shirk and the big shirk, all of them is considered from that category. In that, the destruction of the religion. يعني هذا دمار للدين. So shirk destroys the religion. That's number one. The second one, ظلم. ظلم is anything that you do against people, their selves or their money. You shortchange someone, you don't give them their rights, or you don't give them any of the rights, or you harm them, or you kill them. That's the worst part, يعني the maximum. That's why the Prophet ﷺ told us that al-Muslim man salim al-Muslimuna min lisanihi wa yadihi. Muslim is a true Muslim, is the one who doesn't harm people with his hand or with his tongue. And of course, he mentioned these two because these are the most common ones that people use to harm others. But all of that dhulm and all the dealing with people, this by itself, killing and such, destroys people. So you have the first one, destruction of the religion, and the second one, destruction of the people who are going to fulfill the religion or do the worship that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us for. So if you, that's why you have daruriyat al-khams, the most important five necessities: preserving the religion, preserving the life, preserving the brain, preserving the wealth or the money, and preserving the offsprings or the honor. And that is the third one, وَلَا يَزْنُونَ, and they don't commit adultery. And we know that anything, or what we call indecency, anything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prohibits, He also prohibits anything that leads to it. So when it comes to shirk, for instance, you are not supposed to pray facing or directing yourself toward a grave or in the area or pray on the grave. You are not supposed to have statues. You're not supposed to be hanging pictures. All of that may lead eventually to shirk. And you're not supposed to love someone so much. Even the Prophet ﷺ He said, لا تطروني كما أطرت النصارى عيسى ابن مريم إنما أنا عبد الله فقولوا عبد الله ورسوله. أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم, don't exaggerate your love to me like the Christians did to Isa alayhi salam. I'm a servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to cut any relationship with shirk. And the same thing with killing. You are not supposed to harm people with your hand, with anything. So the Prophet ﷺ directed us from the minimum that you can do is harm someone by your hand or by your tongue, and then move on all the way to the killing. And when it comes to zina, وَلَا يَزْنُونَ, anything that leads to it. That's why you're supposed to lower your gaze. You're supposed to not touch the opposite gender. You're not supposed to mingle or mix or have open relationship. All of that to prevent the zina. What does zina do? It mixes the genealogy or the lineage of people. You don't know who's who, the mother, the father, the brother. So you basically have an animal community, not a human community, because when it comes to marriage and all of that, nobody knows who and what, and we have all of that guides from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after He told us about Ibadur Rahman, how good they are and how they stay in prayer or night prayer, and how they avoid vain talk and they avoid ignorant people, and they fear the hell of fire and they make dua and everything. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned those three to tell you that they are away from those three and anything that leads to it, because it is really the destruction of dunya. If you have no religion and you have no people and you have no one knows who, so this is definitely the worst thing. So avoid shirk and anything that leads to it, and avoid injustice and anything that leads to it, and avoid indecency and anything that leads to it. And inshallah, the rest of them will be easy for you to do, and you will be from Ibadur Rahman. جزاكم الله خيرا. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.